The polish continues melting off this incredibly rancid turd. Earlier this week, when we talked about support for Zohran Mamdani plummeting, Andy Cuomo was down around 10 points, and Curtis Sliwa, he was down so far he had to pay just to be included in the poll. But now, as we are getting closer and closer to Election Day in New York City, the margin of error for Zohran Mamdani and the imams that support him, the margin is becoming razor thin. You know, I often mention professional turd polishers here on the channel. Over the last few years, as the country seems to have been infected with deceivers, the mainstream media, they have become experts at polishing the turd. They have become experts at taking something that they know you will reject and lathering it with polish to make it appear to be pristine and appealing. Take the WNBA, for example. For years, America has rejected the socialist activists disguised as pretend basketball players in the WNBA dump. 2 years ago, the WNBA was celebrating their supposed rating success in the regular season. During the 2023 season, pretend basketball averaged just over 500,000 viewers. For damn near everything else on TV, this would be considered huge embarrassing failure. But for the WNBA, this was a resounding success, even though they still managed to lose $10 million that season. Last year, Caitlin Clark enters the dump and brings mainstream attention to the league. For the first time ever, people were actually watching WNBA games. They were buying tickets. Pretend basketball games were being moved out of high school gyms and into NBA arenas. Now, according to the media, America was finally embracing the WNBA, when the reality was, America was simply attracted to the polish. America was interested in watching Caitlin Clark while not really giving a shit about the rest of the league. Last month, they were essentially giving away tickets to the WNBA finals, and they still couldn't sell out games. Over the summer, Zohran Mamdani was elevated into the mainstream by winning the Democratic primary in New York City. Since that time, Zorro has been presented as this happy-go-lucky doofus that cares about poor people. Hey guys, it's me, Zohran Mamdani! I'm gonna make everything free, free, free! What I'm not telling you though, free stuff comes along with a supersized foot in your ass! Because in exchange for free stuff, I'm taking away your freedom. As is often the case with socialist and Islamist, everything sounds great to the uninformed in the beginning. The turd looks really appealing when it's polished, but eventually the polish melts away and people realize it's a steaming turd. And I hope the people of New York City realize this before it's too late. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Let's go ahead and get to the sponsor for today's video, my good friends at Sugar Mountain Trading. One of my channel members reached out to me a while back and thanked me for linking him up with Sugar Mountain Trading. Woke up one Friday morning with severe back pain, had to drive several hours to a friend's wedding. He applied some CBD lotion from Sugar Mountain Trading. 10-15 minutes later, back pain was gone. My wife also deals with nagging back pain from time to time. Tried over-the-counter stuff, the chiropractor, but none of that ever seems to work. Within 5-10 minutes of me applying CBD oil from Sugar Mountain Trading, her pain is gone. I'm telling you, it's damn near magical. My wife keeps a small bottle of the oil in her purse at all times. Recently, I gave some of the CBD lotion to my dad. Now, he has been installing and repairing sprinkler systems my entire life, so he deals with constant pain in his knees. He hates taking pills, so I gave him some of the CBD lotion from Sugar Mountain. His knees are pain-free, even at 74 years old. All CBD products offered at Sugar Mountain Trading, 100% natural, 100% free of THC. So click the link in the description below. Use my promo code BTL20, BTL20. Receive 20% off your first purchase with Sugar Mountain Trading. Headline at the New York Post: Andrew Cuomo and Curtis Sliwa closing gap on socialist Mamdani. The problem I have with this headline is that it's a partial truth. Yes, the gap is closing on Zorro. However, I don't think Zohran Mamdani is a socialist. But KC, he identifies as a democratic socialist. Yeah, I realize that's what he is telling us, but Uncle KC ain't buying it. Me personally, I think Zohran Mamdani is an Islamist. If I am right, and that's actually the case, he can't really be open with his true intentions because New York City has a high population of Jewish people. I don't know if you know this, but Jewish people have been fighting Islam for thousands of years. Of course, you don't have to take my word for it. Take a look at these clips of Zohran Mamdani and you can decide for yourself. In this first clip, Zorro is approached by someone on the street in New York City. The dude is asking him if he will denounce Sharia law. Now, outside of Muslim men, it should be easy for everyone else to denounce Sharia law. If you're a woman, if you're a proud member of the LGBT community, if you're identifying as they or them, you probably think you have nothing in common with conservatives, but believe me, you want to be on our side in this instance because you are not allowed to exist under Sharia law, and women have no rights in that oppressive system. Anyone running for mayor of New York City, one of the most diverse cities in the world, it should be easy for them to publicly denounce Sharia law, right? For some reason, Zohran Mamdani just can't bring himself to do it. I wonder why. Watch for yourself.
What is Sharia law have to do with this?
You denounce it, though. I'm asking you.
I am running for mayor.
I know, but I'm asking you. That's the point. If you're going to run for mayor, you have to denounce it. Do you denounce that?
What is Sharia law?
I come from a political tradition Donald Trump describes as the enemy within. We came here to remake this state in the image of our people.
Wait a minute. Let me make sure I'm understanding you correctly. Zohran Mamdani is a devout Muslim. He was raised in the Islamic faith. You really expect me to believe he's never heard of Sharia law? He doesn't know what it is? Uncle KC was raised in a Christian home. Uncle KC still goes to church. I don't go every Sunday, but we do go to church on most Sundays. This would be the equivalent of someone approaching me on the street and asking me to denounce Jesus, and me replying and saying, "What is Jesus? Who is the Jesus of which you speak?" You know what I'm going to say if you ask me to denounce Jesus? I'm going to say, no. I would use more colorful language, but I don't want to curse while talking about the Son of God. This is one of many reasons that Zohran Mamdani is rapidly losing support. You can only disguise yourself for so long. You can only play the role of the happy-go-lucky doofus for so long. According to recent polling, Zohran Mamdani has 40% of the vote. Andrew Cuomo is surging with over 34%. Believe it or not, Curtis Sliwa, he has figuratively risen from the dead, 24% of the vote. Meaning, if Curtis Sliwa dropped out of the race, Andrew Cuomo, he would probably win. Of course, that's not going to happen, like I told you guys the other day, Curtis Sliwa is not going to sacrifice his campaign to correct the Democrats' mistake. And I don't blame him. You know, this race is not about the next 4 years in New York City. This race is about the future of the Democratic Party. I know the Republican Party is kind of split right now, but I'm not worried about Tucker Carlson implementing jihad. I'm not worried about Candace Owens forcing me to pray 5 times a day. The Democrats are split, and their split could dismantle the party. You have 4 wings of the Democratic Party. You have moderate Democrats, guys like Josh Shapiro, John Fetterman. You have establishment Democrats. This would be Gabby Newsom, Charles Schumer, Nancy Pelosi. People who are likely moderate, but they are terrified to stand up to the radicals. Then you have far left socialist, AOC, LGBT, Antifa, Bernard Sanders. Last but certainly not least, you have the Islamist, Zohran Mamdani, Omar Elan, Rashida Tlaib, the entire city of Dearborn, Michigan, the Somalian Republic of Minneapolis. Right now, the socialist and the Islamist, they are working together to take over the Democratic Party. If that happens, there will be a civil war within the party because socialism and Islamism cannot coexist, mainly because Islam can't really coexist with anything. The definition of Islam is submission. You either submit to it or you don't. There is no in between. That's why I'm always saying there really isn't a radical Islam. There's just Islam. Are there people in the Muslim faith that are more moderate? Yeah, of course. Do you ever hear them speak out against Sharia law? Do you ever hear them speak out against Omar Elan or Zohran Mamdani? The only way for Democrats to survive is for the establishment and moderate Democrats to come together against the radical wing of the party. In order for that to be successful, they are going to need Republican support, and Republicans should support them because you don't want socialist or Islamists taking over the Democratic Party, one of 2 major party systems here in America. You do not want that. Have you noticed we are no longer debating issues like abortion? We're no longer debating issues like health care or taxes. Those issues pale in comparison to what we are now debating. For most of my life, both Democrats and Republicans have been able to agree on principal values. Unfortunately, that is no longer the case. And if moderate Democrats don't stand up, they are going to be pushed out of their own party. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys tomorrow.